thing on? Hello? What up, world? Julian here, and welcome back to Told by Thomas, where I tell you how I live my bachelor life here in New York City. Brooklyn, New York to be exact.
I'm from Brooklyn. I rep Brooklyn all day. They killed Biggie.
What part of Brooklyn are you
I'm from Brownsville.
You're from Brownsville.
I'm from Brownsville.
You are very
all
Brooklyn.
day.
You are very
I'm
Brooklyn.
So fucking Brooklyn.
And on today's video, if you haven't been able to tell already, we are switching things up and doing something different because your boy has finally hit 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I see you, girl, I see you. That's right, it has finally happened, and it only took 1 year, 6 months, and 38 days, you know, to hit that milestone, but you know, who's counting? This video, again, we're gonna switch things up. So this is a thank you video for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. And as a thank you, I figured I'd just kind of like sit down and chat with you guys. This is something I don't normally do. I'm a very private person. Hell, I'm a Scorpio rising, you know, I'm very mysterious apparently. And yeah, I just want to kind of just open up and share a little bit more details about myself and my life, but we are going to make it a little bit more exciting. So I am currently in the midst of a kitchen renovation. That's why I missed posting last week. And one big part of that kitchen renovation is plants. I need tons and tons of plants. So this week I went out and bought a bunch of new plants. And if you've been, you know, following some of my previous flips, you know that plants are just a big aspect of my apartment. So on today's video, while I open up and tell you a little bit more about myself as a thank you, I am also going to be taking care of plants. Also, I have to mention that this past week has been really crazy, especially here in the US, with all the protests surrounding, you know, George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and just the senseless killing of Black people. And I also figured like now would be a good time to talk about that on my platform, especially being a Black man in America. So yeah, I guess let's get to it. Alright, you guys, so that little montage that you just saw, that was all of my plants collectively together, all 25 of them. I have never owned that many plants at one time, and I most certainly haven't kept that many alive at one time. So I'm pretty proud of myself. The plants that you see right here though, these are the plants that I have already owned. As mentioned, I just bought a bunch of plants, probably like half of the plants that you just saw I just bought in the past week for my kitchen renovation, which is going live next week. So definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you do not miss a beat. All of these plants right here are the plants that I already owned, and I have been taking really good care of them. A lot of them actually recently watered, so they really don't need much, probably just a good trim, you know, touch up the edges a little bit. Also, a lot of them are looking real ashy and dusty, so I'll probably dust them off a bit, and then we will move on to my new plants just so I can, like, you know, water them and give them a nice new home so they can get started off right to a nice equitable future like everyone deserves in 2020. So let's begin.
Okay, so before we like really begin, I figured I'd mention that I am using this Miracle Grow plant food. It's like a nutrient based plant food that has a bunch of stuff that plant likes. So I just wanted to throw that disclaimer out there just in case you don't think I am feeding my plants blue Gatorade, which I actually think that they would enjoy just as well. So yeah, Also, I decided halfway through filming this video that I was going to do a voiceover for this part. So if it looks like I'm talking to myself, I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy. You know, I just wanted to clear the air on that. So yeah. Anyway, my name is Julian Thomas. I'm 29 years young. Yes, I'm a Leo, and I am from Brooklyn, New York. But I was raised in the DC area, Northern Virginia to be exact. So yeah, I guess you can say I was raised in the suburbs, but don't tell anybody that. I was actually born in North Carolina, and I'm a country boy at heart. Like, I grew up talking just like this. I talked just like this until about 6 years old. That's how country I am. I'm so country that I can run on rocks with no shoes or socks. So yeah, ask about me. I started off life a little poor in the trailer park. Then when I was 4, I moved with my dad and settled in quite lovely into the middle class suburban life. So that's why on this channel I do a lot of bougie things, but I always pair the highs with the lows just to make it accessible for everyone, only because I know what it's like to be on both sides of the fence. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for my dad and both of my moms. We'll get into that a little later, but that's why I use my platform to promote the advancement of the American black male. I feel like society has this one-dimensional view of us, and we're so much more than sneakers and music and dancing and having big Wait, this is a family channel. Let me not say that, even though it's true. So yeah, that's why you guys see me do a lot of Karen-esque kind of things, just to show a different side to the black male experience than what we're so used to seeing. We're more than capable of taking care of ourselves and thriving while doing it. Thriving just like all my plants here, which you see me dusting and trimming. I'm not gonna lie, I threw a little olive oil in the microfiber cloth just to give them a little extra shine. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing that normally, as plants do have pores which the oil can clog, and it can also cause the plant to get a little crispy if you have them in the sun. However, I do this every now and again, like a super light application of oil, and nothing's happened yet. Homegirls are still growing.
All right, guys. Hello. Hey, really quick, I want to mention how these plants right here, these are all of my new plants. The plants that you see me previously finesse, those are my old plants that I've had for a while now. Some of them I had for a couple years. These plants right here, these are all of my new plants that I bought over the past week. Again, I'm currently doing a kitchen renovation. It's actually going to be my next 2 YouTube videos, so definitely stay tuned for that. And plants are a major part of that kitchen renovation. So yeah, these beauties right here will be gracing the kitchen. So for the next part of this plant care situation, I am going to water these plants, just trim them up, give them new pots, just so that they can have a nice start in Juju's penthouse. Let's get to it.
Really quick, I wanted to mention that a lot of these plants I don't know much about, and there's this app called Picture This, free in the App Store, where you can take a picture of any plant and it will tell you everything that you need to know about it. The name, where they originated, how to take care of them, their likes and dislikes. One thing I like about this app is that it saves all your searches, so if you're like me and you have a baby jungle starting to take shape in your home with so many different plants, this app helps you keep track of everything that you have and tells you how to take care of them all. Okay, enough about these damn plants and back to my story, because you know, I'm a Leo. Now, where was I? Ah, yes, baby Jules. I'm going to be honest and say, growing up, I didn't experience explicit racism, even though I was in the South, or at least for what I can remember. I do remember, however, the first time that I was overtly targeted for my race was in 2012 when I was stopped and frisked by the NYPD, literally within the same year of them abolishing the practice. Yes, that was a thing. Can you believe it? It was pretty scary and really weird too, because once I started to speak and answer the undercover cop's questions, obviously I put on my white voice and the cop let me go. And code switching is something I've had to deal with literally all of my life, and I think that's something that's not talked about enough when it comes to racism. Like, I have to carry myself a particular way just to be able to be in certain situations, especially if it involves my career. And that's a dilemma I've always been conflicted with, especially being a light-skinned black man. I think the next issue we need to tackle within the black community is colorism. I'm here to say Black Lives Matter, whether that's ghetto black lives, GED black lives, PhD black lives, prison black lives matter. And that's on period, poo. But yeah, I do think the conversation of colorism is something the black community should tackle next, but one fight at a time. It's crazy because George Floyd was murdered by the Minneapolis Police Department the same day my mother passed away of natural causes 19 years ago. Honestly, the day I'm filming this video is exactly 19 years since I went to my mother's funeral. Through the past couple of weeks, I had so many people reach out asking me if I'm okay. At first, I thought folks were just checking up on me because of my mom, but then realized that I'm not a very open person when it comes to my family life, so there's no way that they would have known that. And then it made me realize that folks were reaching out to see how I was dealing with the racial unrest that was going on. And apparently, I wasn't the only black person that was happening to. It was a little weird and I felt kind of disrespectful, but I digress. Okay, this video is getting a little long, so I'm going to wrap it up here, just like I'm wrapping this twine around my plants just to keep the corn plant sturdy and to hide the plastic plant pot that I was too lazy to replace. Here you see I'm putting my plants in their new homes, and if you look close, you can see a sneak peek of my new kitchen. I'm really starting to enjoy my newfound green thumb. And I'm even thinking about turning this into a herb drying rack. We'll see. And to close out this video, I figured I'd get my mom some flowers just to show some love. You guys, I feel a hell of a lot better now that I opened up. Fellas, let's make therapy a thing, okay?
All right, you guys, that's it for my video today. I want to say thank you so much for watching and for helping me to finally reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I really appreciate that. Again, I'm normally a very private person. I don't really like to open up like that, but considering the circumstances this week, from everything that's going on in the outside world to hell my personal life, I figured, you know, now that I have 1,000 subscribers, that kind of like makes us an official couple now. So it's only best to open up with you guys, and I must say I feel a hell of a lot better. I really hope that you guys take this time to kind of just like chill and, you know, recenter yourself, because you can't really continue the good fight when your mind isn't right. So yeah, I also want to say that today is Friday, June 5th, which would have been Breonna Taylor's 27th birthday. And for those of you who do not know her backstory, Breonna was shot 8 times by police in her own home in Kentucky. I am going to include a couple links to a few news articles that explain more of Breonna's story down in the description below, as well as some links to a couple organizations that are taking donations for her family, in addition to George Floyd. This week has been really crazy, and I'm glad that it's Friday and that it's over. I will catch you all next week for part 1 of my kitchen renovation. As always, feel free to follow me on Instagram at @ToldByThomas. There you'll always see what I'm up to, get previews for my next videos. Black people, we live.
Us black people, we live. Fuck ISIS.
And of course, be nice to each other. All right, you guys, I'll catch you next week's video. Hey!